Thanks, Joe.
Well, welcome to the Global SCM Leaders on Demand here in Houston, Texas. I'm Joe O'Reilly, senior writer with Inbound Logistics magazine. I'm joined here by Jez Tung at Logistics Reply to talk about some trends in technology. Jez, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Joe.
Can you, just to kick things off, can you talk a little bit about technology changes in the last decade?
Certainly, I think as we look at where technology has come from, the overwhelming flavor of the past decade has been enterprise resource planning and associated solutions. So large programs, large master data-based developments which have built layers and layers of information and layers of process. Those have been big, complex, often very successful implementations which have enabled data to be provided to managers to make decisions. I think what we've seen over the past few years, particularly with the birth of cloud-based technology and the internet, is the fact that solutions are becoming smaller and lighter rather than large monolithic implementations of enterprise resource planning. You've got smaller tactical deployments of cloud-based solutions, which also bring into play things like mobile devices and start to pull in social media type information, asynchronous data coming from many different directions, which have to be managed. So I think increasingly as we move forward, technology is going to be smaller, lighter, easier to deploy, easier to change.
Benefits of that technology and maybe in the context of certain industries?
Certainly from the perspective of the industry in general, the programs and the benefits that people are looking to achieve, where people don't look to deploy technology just for the sake of deploying technology. There is a business case to be made. And quite often, what cloud-based technologies enable is a speed to benefit, which doesn't exist with enterprise resource planning type solutions. So you can have solutions up and running within a matter of weeks and delivering benefits. Typically, cloud-based solutions also have a monthly fee, a usage fee associated with them. So the control of cost is much greater. As your business grows, then those fees increase. But more importantly, if there is a downturn, if the business volumes decrease, then the fees can decrease as well. And also from an IT perspective, you're always on the latest version of the solution. So there's very little business interruption that comes from upgrades and moving that forward. I think in terms of the oil and gas industry particularly, oil and gas has traditionally been seen as a manufacturing rather than as a supply chain operation. And so what we are seeing, I think, particularly at this conference, is that supply chain is becoming a significant issue in the oil, gas, and energy space. And that particularly the big users of enterprise resource planning solutions, as we've talked, are starting to look for smaller, nimbler tools to be able to add on and add value to turbocharge, if you will, that enterprise resource planning solution.
What impact then do you think this technology, this agility would have on supply chain companies and their processes?
I think what we're seeing with cloud-based solutions is almost a democratization of software and software solutions. Typically, the enterprise resource planning and large process planning type solutions that I described earlier have been the bailiwick, the benefit of large tier one organizations who have the ability to invest hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars into their solutions. That leaves a whole swathe of smaller players within the supply chain who are unable to play at that level. Cloud-based technology removes those barriers. It is easier and cheaper to deploy. So I think you're going to find many smaller, nimbler players not only being able to enter the playing field, but also potentially to leapfrog some of their larger more traditional competitors because they have access to technology which is easier to deploy and cheaper to deploy. I think the other benefit that will accrue within the space is that typically speed to benefit, as I mentioned earlier, projects and processes can be enabled in a much quicker, much more agile manner. So the mantra there would be think big, start small, scale fast, and then you have the ability with all of these smaller supply chain partners taking part and being able to participate in the supply chain to have true end-to-end supply chain visibility, collaboration, enriched data from multiple sources, and generally a much more efficient and competitive supply chain environment.
Well, that wraps up our time here. I'd like to thank Jez for sharing his insights.
Thank you.
Thank you.